The bus station was loud, messy, and impatient, engines growling, people arguing with time, the smell of dust and diesel hanging in the air. And yet, in the middle of all that noise, one small moment stopped everything. "Please don't cry, ma'am, you can borrow my dad." Those words, soft, innocent, and impossibly brave, cut through the chaos like silence after thunder. If you believe stories can change hearts, if you've ever felt alone in a crowd, stay with me until the end. And if this story touches you even once, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because stories like this deserve to be shared. The woman the little girl was talking to sat frozen on a metal bench, her face buried in her hands. Her shoulders shook as if she were trying to hold herself together and failing. She wore a navy blue jacket with a faded emblem stitched on the sleeve, an emblem that meant discipline, duty, and sacrifice. A.U.S. Navy soldier. Strong to the world. Broken in private. Her name was Lieutenant Ava Reynolds. She had survived storms at sea, sleepless nights on watch, and missions she could never speak about. But that morning, sitting at a bus stop in a town she barely knew, she felt weaker than she ever had in uniform. The letter was still clenched in her fist. "We regret to inform you." She didn't need to read the rest again. She already knew it by heart. Her younger brother, Mark, her only family left, was gone. A roadside accident. No goodbye. No last call. Just gone. She was supposed to take the bus back to base. Back to routine. Back to being Lieutenant Reynolds. But right now, she was just a woman who had lost the last person who called her sis. That's when the little girl appeared in front of her. She couldn't have been more than 6 or 7. Messy ponytail, pink sneakers, a backpack almost as big as her torso. She stood there, holding a half-melted chocolate bar, looking at Ava with serious, thoughtful eyes, as if she'd been thinking very hard before speaking. Ava looked up, startled, embarrassed to be seen crying in uniform. "I'm sorry," she said quickly, wiping her cheeks. "I didn't mean to." The girl shook her head. "It's okay. My mom cries too. But she feels better when my dad hugs her." Ava gave a small, broken smile. "That's very kind of you." The girl glanced over her shoulder, then back at Ava. "My dad is over there. He's really good at hugs. You can borrow him if you want." Ava laughed despite herself, a shaky, surprised sound that felt strange in her chest. "Borrow him? Yeah," the girl said matter-of-factly. "He doesn't mind. He's a dad. That's kind of his job." Behind her stood a man in worn jeans and a gray hoodie, holding 2 bus tickets and watching the scene unfold with confusion slowly turning into concern. When the girl waved him over enthusiastically, he sighed, resigned in the way only a parent could be, and walked toward them. "I'm so sorry," he said quickly to Ava. "She likes to help." Ava stood, suddenly aware of how ridiculous she must look, teary-eyed, uniform wrinkled from travel, heart wide open. "No, it's okay." She was, actually helping. The man crouched down next to his daughter. "Sweetheart, we don't just." "It's okay, Dad," the girl interrupted. "She's sad, like when Grandma went to heaven." That sentence landed harder than anything else that day. The man looked at Ava, softer now. "I'm Tom," he said. "And this is Lily." "Ava," she replied quietly. Lily reached out and gently placed the chocolate bar in Ava's hand. "For later," she said. "Chocolate helps too." Something inside Ava cracked all the way open. They ended up sitting together on the bench. What was supposed to be a brief, awkward moment turned into shared silence, then conversation. Ava didn't say much at first. Tom didn't push. Lily swung her legs and talked enough for all 3 of them, about her school, her favorite color, how buses were, just long cars with feelings. Eventually, Ava spoke. She told them about her brother. About how he used to wait up for her when she was deployed, even with the time difference. About how he'd joke that if she ever forgot how to be human, he'd remind her. "I think," she said, voice trembling, "I forgot anyway." Tom listened. Not as a stranger. Not as someone trying to fix her. Just as someone present. "You didn't forget," he said quietly. "You're just hurting." When the bus arrived, Ava hesitated. Getting on meant moving forward. And she wasn't ready. Lily hugged her without asking. It wasn't a long hug. It wasn't dramatic. But it was real. "You don't have to be strong all the time," Lily whispered, as if sharing a secret. "Grown-ups forget that." Ava closed her eyes and let the moment exist. They parted ways after that. No numbers exchanged. No promises. Just a memory that followed Ava back to base like a warm light. Weeks passed. Ava returned to duty, but something had shifted. She started volunteering at the base daycare. Writing letters to families of fallen soldiers, not official ones, but personal ones. She stopped eating alone. Stopped pretending she was fine. One afternoon, months later, she received a small envelope in her base mailbox. Inside was a crayon drawing. 3 stick figures on a bench. One in uniform, one tall, one small. Above them, written carefully in uneven letters, "Borrowed Dad hug." On the back was a note from Tom. "Lily saw you on the news. She said, that's the sad lady. She looks happier now. I think you helped us as much as we helped you." Ava held the drawing to her chest. That night, she stood in front of her mirror, looking at herself, not as a soldier, not as a survivor, but as someone still capable of connection. She whispered, "Thank you," to a little girl who didn't know she'd saved a life with one sentence.